You've seen it happen. The liar gets promoted. The narcissist builds a massive following. The guy who screws everyone over walks away with millions while you're grinding 60-hour weeks just to stay afloat. It's maddening. It makes you question whether being decent even matters. But here's what nobody tells you. The worst people often win because they understand rules about power and influence that the rest of us were never taught. Today, we're breaking down exactly why terrible people seem to rise, and more importantly, how you can succeed without becoming one of them. Let's start somewhere uncomfortable. The small world where virtue worked. Being a good person actually worked when you were younger. Not because the universe rewards kindness, but because your world was small enough for it to matter. Your universe was family, school, maybe your neighborhood. Everyone knew everyone. Your reputation was currency. Treating people right wasn't just morally good, and it was strategically smart. Share your lunch, help with homework, don't be a jerk. People remembered. The feedback was instant. You could see the results of your behavior almost immediately. That's why all that "be kind and good things happen" advice felt true. Because in small groups it was true. In tight communities, being decent isn't just morally right, it's strategically brilliant. But then you grow up, you enter corporations with thousands of employees, governments making decisions that affect millions, online platforms where you interact with strangers you will never meet, and suddenly those childhood rules stop working. The feedback loops that once rewarded goodness disappear. When no one is watching, character reveals itself, not through what you gain, but through what you refuse to lose. Integrity isn't maintained by applause. It's the promise you keep to yourself when breaking it would cost you nothing. Here's the real issue. Our brains evolved for tribes of around 150 people. Consequences were immediate and personal. Hurt someone, you faced them. Help someone, they stood by you. The results were concrete. But scale breaks everything. Add distance, add complexity, add layers of bureaucracy, and those instincts we developed over millions of years become unreliable. The rules that worked in your small world don't translate cleanly into the big one, and nobody warned you about that. So let's talk about why ruthless people keep rising, while good people feel stuck when morality gets lost in the system. Here's something uncomfortable. If you saw a child being forced into labor right in front of you, you'd react. You'd feel it in your chest. You'd do something. But that same child hidden behind corporate supply chains? Now you're thinking about free shipping. Our brains can only process so much. We focus on what's visible, what's immediate, what's personal. When systems become massive and global, our minds check out. Political corruption overseas, exploitative labor in distant countries, environmental damage you can't see, it's abstract. And abstract suffering doesn't hit the nervous system the same way. This is how morality gets diluted. The emotional feedback that tells us right from wrong gets buried under complexity. And when outrage does break through, it rarely targets what causes the most harm. It targets what's loudest. Coal pollution kills more people annually than all nuclear accidents in history combined. Yet nuclear plants spark protests. Coal plants barely trend. Why? Because nuclear feels dramatic. It feels cinematic. Coal feels boring. Our attention doesn't follow morality. It follows whatever screams the loudest. And the systems causing the deepest damage, they whisper. The quiet cruelties demand discipline, because sustained attention requires effort. And ruthless people understand something critical. Most people won't look closely enough for long enough. The dark wisdom of Niccolo Machiavelli. Back in the 1500s, Machiavelli lived in a world ruled by corruption and violence. Italy wasn't governed by HR departments and public statements. It was governed by fear. Poisonings, betrayals, public executions. Machiavelli wasn't theorizing from a quiet study. He served over a decade as a senior diplomat for the Florentine Republic. He watched power up close, and what he observed was brutal. Power didn't consistently reward virtue, it rewarded survival. From that reality came one of the most controversial lines in political philosophy. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. People hated that idea, but he wasn't celebrating cruelty. He was describing how power often operates in unstable systems. Traits that destroy relationships can scale effectively in environments too big to hold individuals accountable. Ruthlessness in personal life? Toxic. Ruthlessness in massive impersonal systems? Sometimes profitable. Power reveals character in ways comfort never will. The dark triad. Explained. Modern psychology gave a name to three traits that show up repeatedly in powerful positions. They call it the dark triad: Machiavellianism, narcissism, psychopathy. Machiavellianism is strategic manipulation. It's the willingness to bend truth, shape narratives, and exploit blind spots to gain advantage. In small groups, this behavior destroys trust quickly. In large systems, it can look like political skill. Narcissism is fueled by self-importance and an intense need for recognition. Narcissists genuinely believe they are exceptional. And that unshakable confidence? It's magnetic. People mistake certainty for competence. Then there's psychopathy, emotional detachment, low empathy, calmness under pressure. While others hesitate at moral boundaries, they move through them without internal friction. In ruthless environments, that can look like strength. But here's what rarely gets mentioned. These traits are high risk, high reward. They are overrepresented among CEOs and politicians. They are also overrepresented in prisons. What helps you win in chaos can destroy you in stable systems built on trust. Survivorship bias tricks us. We see the ruthless CEO who made it. We don't see the hundreds who crashed quietly. Failure doesn't trend, success does. The hidden cost of winning without integrity. Even among the few who make it through manipulation, there's a cost. Success built on deception isn't stable. When you treat people as tools, threats, or stepping stones, you create blind spots. Eventually, you start believing your own lies. When your identity is tied purely to metrics and output, your internal compass erodes. You might reach the top, but you arrive hollow, surrounded by people who don't truly know you and wouldn't respect you if they did. Success without integrity isn't winning. It's being successful at being miserable. The unraveling, when guilt disappears. Here's the part no one warns you about. What gets sacrificed on the road to success at all costs isn't just relationships. It's guilt. Guilt evolved as a social alarm system. It tells you when you've crossed a line. If you train yourself to ignore it long enough, the signal fades. At first, that feels like power. No hesitation, no second guessing. But when consequences finally arrive, and they often do, everything hits at once. Shame, regret, fear, the weight of everything you postponed feeling. The reframe, morality as a local strategy. Here's the shift. Morality evolved as a local strategy. It works best in tight networks. When systems grow too large, your instincts misfire. That doesn't mean abandon your values. It means apply them intelligently. You can understand power without becoming cruel. You can be strategic without being ruthless. That's the balance most people never master. So let's get practical. Strategy number 1, empathize less, practice compassion. More empathy is narrow. It locks onto one person's feelings at a time. Compassion is broader. Compassion allows perspective. It asks what actually helps. Empathy jumps into quicksand with someone. Compassion finds a rope. Caring intelligently prevents burnout and exploitation. Strategy number 2, stop seeking universal approval. Wanting everyone to like you destroys focus. It feels like humility, but often it's insecurity. You cannot build anything meaningful while constantly managing perceptions. Accept being misunderstood. Accept being disliked by people who don't share your values. Conviction plus adaptability, that's strength. Strategy number 3, speak up, even when you're uncertain. The world doesn't always reward who's right. It rewards who's visible. In group settings, the person who speaks is perceived as more competent. If you have an idea, say it. If you disagree, voice it. One strong idea can outweigh many imperfect ones. Being wrong is temporary. Being invisible can last forever. The real win, integrity in a ruthless world. Here's the truth about winning. The price isn't paid up front. It's paid in who you become. Every shortcut rewires you. Eventually, you become fluent in a language that speaks only transactions, never connection. Dark triad personalities chase external validation so aggressively that they destroy their internal compass. They win games optimized for metrics that don't measure what actually matters. Trust, respect, self-knowledge, peace. The real victory? Navigating a ruthless world without becoming ruthless yourself. Understanding the game without becoming the villain. You can win, just don't lose yourself in the process. Your choice, your life. Start now.